7 AI tools that will save you 10+ hours a week, 2026. Imagine it is the very beginning of the year 2026, when corporate giants were just starting to report their quarterly profits, and Bitcoin was once again attempting to storm psychological price barriers. A post appeared on a private forum in Silicon Valley that literally shattered the silence of the early morning. The author, hiding behind the pseudonym Digital Hermit, claimed to have found a way to steal time from the universe itself. He wasn't offering pills to extend life, nor was he selling access to secret databases. His recipe was terrifyingly simple: 7 artificial intelligence tools that take over all the office drudgery, freeing up more than 10 hours a week for their owner to actually live. And while ordinary people spend those 40 hours a month on endless messaging app chats and formatting spreadsheets, users of these technologies have long been one step ahead. So who are you in this new reality? The one who controls the machines, or the one who is still working for them without even realizing it? Have you ever stopped to think about how much time a single unread email truly costs? Research from the year 2024 showed that the average office worker spends nearly 1/3 of their workday just processing incoming messages, 2/3 of which don't even require their direct involvement. We live in an era of information noise, where our brains are forced every few minutes to switch between tasks, losing concentration in precious minutes to what experts call context switching. It is right here that our first hero steps onto the stage, a tool that doesn't just filter spam, but literally reads your correspondence for you. Imagine a neural network that analyzes your writing style, understands who you usually reply to and when, and independently sorts your mail into priority folders, flagging truly important messages from key clients and your boss with a bright red marker. But the most interesting part lies in the details. This assistant isn't just capable of blocking out advertising newsletters, it generates draft replies on the fly using your unique communication style. It learns from you, memorizing characteristic phrases and favorite emojis, so that your business partners never even suspect they are communicating not with you, but with your digital twin. This is no longer just sorting, this is full-fledged delegation of your communication workload. Imagine how your morning changes when, instead of an hour of panic over 100 emails, you spend only 10 minutes approving ready-made answers that the machine has already prepared, having studied the context of your correspondence over the last several years. This is the first and most important step to taking back those hours that were stolen from you every single day. Moving from correspondence to the actual substance of work, we inevitably encounter those time-devouring monsters known as meetings and conferences. Just think about it. According to data from leading business schools, middle managers spend up to 23 hours a week in meetings, and the lion's share of that time is wasted discussing minor secondary details. The second tool in our arsenal solves this problem radically and irrevocably. This is an artificial intelligence that attends every one of your online meetings as an invisible secretary. It doesn't just record video and transcribe words into text. Programs from 5 years ago could already do that. Modern algorithms from the year 2026 analyze intonations, highlight key theses, and most importantly, create a structured meeting summary with time codes you can click on to jump immediately to the specific moment of discussion. But the feature that truly takes professionals' breath away is the automatic creation of task lists. Now you don't have to feverishly take notes while people are talking. You can focus entirely on the discussion, knowing that no promise and no important thought will be lost in the digital ether. And after the meeting ends, instead of editing a recording or re-listening to a 1-hour conversation searching for a single crucial figure, you simply open the final report where everything is laid out neatly on the shelves. This frees up not just hours, but entire days of your life, bringing you back from the world of endless conference calls into the world of real action and achievement. Of course, it's one thing to agree on tasks, but they still need to be accomplished, and for that, you most often need to work with massive volumes of data and documents. Picture an analyst drowning in dozens of reports, or a lawyer reviewing contracts that are thousands of pages long. Traditionally, these specialists spent years of their careers on mere reading, while their brains should have been occupied with analysis and the search for non-standard solutions. The third and fourth tools from our list work in tandem, covering both of these needs with surgical precision. One of them is an intelligent search engine for your corporate files, operating on the same principle as modern internet search engines, but only within the confines of your hard drive or cloud storage. You've forgotten which file contains that important presentation from the year 2022. You only remember that it mentioned a strategy for entering the Asian market and had a funny picture of a panda. The good old search by file name won't yield results, but this assistant understands context. It has read the contents of all your documents and knows exactly what you are looking for. It will pull up that presentation in a second, in the blink of an eye. And its partner, specializing in text analysis, can process a 100-page report in just a couple of minutes, highlighting key trends, anomalies, and figures worthy of mention in the final briefing for shareholders. Imagine giving a neural network the task of analyzing customer feedback from the last 6 months, and it doesn't just count the number of times the word bad appears. It uncovers the deep-seated reasons for dissatisfaction, groups them into categories, and even suggests possible solutions based on successful cases from your own sales history. Instead of a week's worth of work with spreadsheets and charts, you get a ready-made analysis with recommendations in 1 hour, and you spend the remaining time figuring out how to implement those recommendations as effectively as possible. This is the very difference between working for the sake of the process and working for the sake of the result. However, the most astonishing things begin when we move into a sphere traditionally considered the exclusive domain of human creativity, namely content creation and marketing. The fifth tool on our list is a neural network that writes texts, scripts, and even social media posts, but it doesn't do it in a templated way. It does it while considering your personal voice and unique style. It analyzes your previous work, be it letters to clients or blog articles, and creates drafts that sound as if you wrote them, but 10 times faster. You give it only the key theses and a few examples of your desired tone, and it produces 5 versions of a newsletter, each tailored to a different segment of your audience, for those who love dry figures, for those inspired by success stories, and for those who trust only expert opinions. This isn't just a text generator, it's your personal marketing department working around the clock without weekends. Standing next to it is the sixth tool, which visualizes these ideas. Have you ever tried explaining to a designer how the cover for your new course or presentation should look? This often takes more time than the actual work itself. The new neural networks understand your task description in natural language and generate dozens of layout options, images, and even short videos within minutes. You no longer need to wait days for a creative studio to draw you a logo. You simply describe the concept, color scheme, and mood, and the artificial intelligence presents you with a library of ready-made solutions from which you choose the best one or combine several into a final masterpiece. This transforms weeks of agony over briefs and revisions into an engaging 2-hour creative process where you act as the director, not just a simple executor. And finally, the seventh and arguably most important tool is the one that unites all the previous ones into a single ecosystem. We are talking about an intelligent scheduler that manages not just your calendar, but your time and energy throughout the entire day. Unlike ordinary calendars that simply display meetings, this assistant understands your biorhythms. It knows that your best time for creative work is from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, and it automatically blocks this time in your calendar for important tasks, moving secondary meetings to the post-lunch hours when productivity inevitably drops. It analyzes your habits, synchronizes with your fitness tracker, and understands when you've had enough sleep and when you need to be given more time to rest. This scheduler negotiates directly with your colleagues' assistants to reschedule meetings if it sees that you are overloaded, or if you're getting a migraine that you haven't even had time to think about yet. It creates your ideal day, balancing between work, rest, and the unexpected tasks that inevitably arise in the life of any busy person. You stop living according to a schedule imposed from the outside and start building it around your real needs and goals. And when all 7 of these tools work together, real magic happens. Your email is clean, meetings are organized and don't waste your time, documents are analyzed, content is created, and your day is perfectly structured. You gain those 10 or even 15 additional hours a week that used to disappear into the black hole of office bustle. The only question is, are you ready to accept this new reality and become one of those who controls the machines instead of servicing them? Think deeply about this simple truth. Technological progress never waits for those who lag behind. In the year 2026, the gap between those who use these 7 tools and those who continue to work the old way becomes a chasm. This is not just a matter of saving time, it is a matter of the quality of your life. Every hour saved can be spent with your family, on sports, on learning something new, or simply on sitting in silence with a cup of coffee and thinking about something truly important, not about which report needs to be submitted by Friday evening. These tools are already here. They are available to every one of you right now, and most of them have free versions or trial periods. But the scariest thing that can happen isn't even that you will continue to waste time. The scariest thing is that one day you will look around and realize that all your competitors, all your colleagues, all the young specialists entering your industry have long been living in this new reality, while you are still trying to manually format a table in Excel. Do not let fear of the new or laziness stop you. Today, right now, as soon as you finish reading this article, open your browser and start getting acquainted with these helpers. Try one, then a second. Give them a chance to change your routine. Time is the only non-renewable resource we have, and it depends only on you whether you will lose it or multiply it with the help of those very 7 tools we just talked about. Take this step today, and by tomorrow, you won't be able to imagine how you ever lived and worked without them.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell.